Hello everyone, welcome to my look at Tsukihime, a piece of blue glass moon. Oh my goodness. I started doing Type Moon things in general about 5 years ago, and at that time, this game was a punchline of a thing that will never exist, basically, of a thing that the mobile games have destroyed. And yet, not only here we are with it being out for years at this point, but now it's out available officially in English. And I was going to play this regardless. There was the fan translations, but I thought, no, after Witch on the Holy Night, this was coming. And I'm so happy that was the case. I know very little about what is in this remake. I know probably only about like 2 or 3 things, and then whatever is already shown off in Melty Blood Type Lumina, because you're not going to stop me from playing that early, right? But other than that, I'm pretty blind, which I'm very excited for. Of course, I have played the original Tsukihime, and I will be referring to it with my knowledge of that. So if you're looking for a truly blind Let's Play, you're not getting that from me, but it's blind from someone who has played not just the original visual novel, but all the spin-offs and pretty much everything leading up to it. So without further ado, let's head on in. And I'm playing it on the Switch for one reason. The art book is uncensored, and if I'm buying a physical copy, yeah, I kind of want that. And let me tell you, getting this in the mail was crazy. Hello, we're really jumping right in, huh?
暗い夜、家の中にみんなはいない。慣れた草と紙の匂い、積み木細工のような空。部屋の隅にはどろりとこびりついたような古い影。死に絶えた音の中で過去を偲ぶ。見ていた夢はもしもの話ばかりだった。例えば、
もし空が曇っていたのなら。
This is very different with it being voiced.
気づくのが少し
Okay,
早ければ。
sorry, I'm just taken aback because it was not voiced
彼が
before.
衰えていなければ。
That really changes how you take in this scene out of nowhere.
私が生まれていなかったら。
Huh.
それともしここであなたが目覚めなければ。
夜はますます沈んでいく。
So this is interesting because I don't remember that thing in the middle of it before. And this, we now know the context of
一
this.
人きりは怖いからみんなに会いたくて。
You want
一
to
人きりで
keep
庭に。
you want to keep the subtitles going? No? That's fine. I know what's being said essentially.
ほうと吐く息が白くなっていく。庭はとても指先が痛くなるぐらい寒かった。凍る星。
This is interesting because like I know who's
さめ
speaking.
ざめと世界を照らす。
And this voice, though, is not what I would have expected them to sound
屋敷の
like.
庭はすごく広くて。
Mind you,
周りは
this is
深い
them
森に囲ま
younger,
れて。
right? This is...
森の木々は
We know who this is now.
大きなカーテンのようだった。まるでどこかの劇場みたい。ざーっと梢の窓が開いて。
Oh, it's really artsy to do this, but
サーカスが始まるのかとワクワクした。
we don't know what's being said. Can you go back? Might be useful. Okay, well, that's really funny. They just cut them off. It's fine. This is mostly vibes.
森の中でみんなが楽しそうに騒いでる。
Yeah, just a big old party.
幕はまだ開かない。我慢できずに森の中へと入っていった。すごく暗い。
I mean, you can see through the trees. That's by definition not pitch black.
いろいろな音がして いろいろなものがある。けれど暗くてよくわからない。途中で誰かとすれ違ったかもよく記憶できないくらい。
I gotta say, this really captures that dreamlike feeling they're meant to be
自分
going
の
with
名前
here.
を呼ばれた気がして、もっと奥へと歩いていった。木々のベールを抜けた後、森の広場にはみんな揃って待っていた。
Oh, everyone's all jumbled up.
わからない。
Everyone's all over the place. The ground is soaked with red. Oh, that's
向
not
こうか
said.
ら見知らぬ人がやってくる。凶器を手にしてやってくる。みんなをそうしたように僕もバラバラにしたいみたい。よくわからない。ぼんやりとその人を見る。なすすべもなく凶器を待つ。けれどいよいよという時に誰かが僕の前にやってきて、僕は子供だから
Oh, I'm just a child. I don't really understand. Oh, jeez. Oh, they're doing the conflicting thoughts really well, too.
温かいものが顔にかかる。赤い。トマトみたいに赤い水。本当によくわからないけれど、ただ寒くて僕は泣いてしまいそうだった。森は黒くて見たくない。地面は赤くて見たくない。だから
Shoutouts to logo designed by Win Fanworks.
目に温かい黄色が混ざってくる。眼球の奥に染み込んでくる。
I'll say
だけど全然気にならない。
this is like, it's a good introduction and gives you some good
ただ
vibes.
一人きりの月
But
が
boy, is it completely at odds with what most of the
見知ら
game
ぬ人
is.
は
It's
今度こ
good
そ僕を
setup.
バラバラにしようとやってくる。
And I'm not criticizing it, but it is just an interesting choice because I like this feeling
いつまでも
only comes up every now and then later.
すごく不思議。どうして今まで気がつかなかったんだろう。
I almost preferred it when it wasn't voiced because it was truly like, who is speaking, you know? One of those things that voices kind of, aren't that good for.
何も見えない。
That said, it's not all
世
going to be
界がだん
voiced.
だん消えていく。
So we'll do some reading later for sure.
ずっと綺麗に輝いてる。
I'm really excited to hear some music remixes too. Cause it's so funny. There are like 7 song tracks in the original Tsukihime. And so this has like what, 90? Oh, I love this. Oh no, I'm gonna have to make sure to keep touching the controller every now and then. Okay, so the box, that's the quote that's on the box when you open it up, which is really nice. Oh man. Oh, chills. Oh, that is so perfectly timed. Oh, and it's the theme. It's a work of fiction. No matter what I do, Kohaku will never be real. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's all good. And for those who, yes, I've seen the recording, like the limits of what they say to record. Don't worry. We have a plan. I wake up to find myself in a hospital bed. There are curtains that gently sway. Ooh. Look at the moon icon for the next on. That's really nice. A chilly breeze enters through an open window. I instinctively squint at the harsh color of the room. Where am I? What day is it? What happened to me? I can't seem to think straight. I try to push myself up, but a sharp pain courses through my body. My breath catches in my throat, and I start gasping for air like a fish. Is this what they mean by seeing stars? When I place my hand against the hard bed, pain erupts from the inside out again. Still lying down, I take a deep breath and look over my body. Both my hands are covered in bandages. My left leg's also in a plaster cast. I feel a tightness around my head, so it must be wrapped up too. A large, thick adhesive strip is stuck to my chest like it's hiding something bad. My left arm has a tube poked into it. God, let me tell you. I know IV tubes are like super important when you're in the hospital, but I hate getting them in. Just the feeling of a needle shoved into you, and like if you move, you can feel it, and I hate it, right? I recently had to go to the hospital because, of course, my life frequently mirrors whatever visual novel I'm playing, and I got it in my hand, which is the worst spot to get it, and just it is bruised up still. It looks like I just got like totally like a rock dropped on my hand. It's the worst. That said, they did give me the good medicine, so things aren't all bad. Some part of me understands that it's an IV. I guess I must have seen all this while I was drifting in and out of sleep. The other room, dimly lit and reeking of medicine and chemicals, the array of tubes poking out from under the bandage on my chest, the scary man in a suit who came to see me, my little sister getting scolded by the man when she came to visit, and the doctor as giddy as a child. I remember all of it like it was a dream.
君、もしかして目が覚めてない？
I hear the voice of an unfamiliar woman. I don't have the strength to answer her. She then bursts out of the room, frantically calling for the doctor. I'm guessing this was the nurse. Pitter patter go her steps. She really shouldn't be running in a hospital, even if it is to get me help. Unable to lift my body, I turn my head and look up at the window. I feel a sharp pain in each of my eyes. Not both my eyes. As if a jagged knife were poking and prodding around inside my brain. The sky outside is so blue it looks unreal. I find my eyes flinching not from the white, hot glare of the sun, but from the spotless stretch of blue. Play that Daytona USA song. Blue, blue skies. Days pass. Since waking up, I still haven't been able to move from the bed. My only view of the outside world is the same faraway sky as before. Gently, curtains flap. A dry wind touches my cheek. The stainless swath of blue leaves my eyes feeling woozy. Where am I? What day is it? Why am I in a hospital? Gradually, the answers come to me. Except for one. I keep looking out the window, a thought just out of reach. Something important. A tearful promise I can't remember.
はじめまして、遠野四季君。回復はおめでとう。
One thing I will say. I am slightly worried about the romanization of one character's name. You know the one. We talked about her in Melty quite a bit. If they use that version of her name, I'm not calling it that. We'll see. Words from a man I've only just met. He offers me a handshake. With his gentle smile and soft-spoken voice, he seems like a kind man. I get the feeling he's someone who could wipe the smile off his face at the flip of a switch. Doctors kind of have to do that, huh? The clean white coat he wears fits him
四
perfectly.
季君、先生の言っていることがわかるかい？
いえ。僕はどうして病院にいるんですか？
I feel like this should have been addressed much earlier, but
覚えていないんだね。君は道を歩いているとき、自動車の交通事故に巻き込まれたんだ。
that's different. I don't think it was hit by a car. It was just a mysterious accident.
胸にガラスの破片が刺さってね。
Oh, was it? Actually,
と
wait.
ても助かるような傷じゃなかったんだ
Wait,
よ。
no, because there was the piece of glass. I didn't remember it being a car if that was the case. They just said some No, you know what? I think it was a car accident. I think I know the real plot, so my brain is filling in gaps where there shouldn't be. The man, draped in white, smiles as he utters something a doctor probably shouldn't say. It's a miracle that you're alive. The queasy feeling I was holding back threatens to spill out after I hear those words.
眠いです。眠っていいですか？
ああ、そうしなさい。今は無理をせず、体を休ませてあげないとね。
Yeah, I mean, when you're hooked up to an IV and the good stuff is dripping into you, you're gonna probably fall asleep super fast. The doctor continues smiling. Honestly, it makes me feel uneasy.
先生、一つ聞いていいですか？
何かな、四季君。
どうして体中に落書きをしているんですか？この部屋もところどころひびだらけで、今にも崩れちゃいそうです。
It is also nice because through the voice acting, we get to hear the original Japanese script too, right? Like just the fact that he calls them specifically rakugaki, which means, kind of like doodles almost, right? And it's a very child-friendly word and a word that makes a lot of sense for him to say, but it gives an image of like he literally thinks it's like drawings on him. For a brief second, the smile vanishes from the doctor's face. Then he rises out of his seat, smile reapplied. His shoes clack against the floor as he disappears behind the curtain.
やはり脳に異常があるようだ。脳外科の芦谷先生に連絡を。それと、視神経にも損傷の疑いがあるな。午後は眼科検査に回すように。
The doctor whispers to his nurse, his voice cold and harsh, starkly different from before, and also within earshot of the child to very easily hear. Probably, maybe he's not the best doctor for, the public-facing part of it.
変なの。みんな体に落書きしてる。
The frenzied lines cling to every surface of the hospital. I don't know why, but just seeing them is enough to make me feel sick.
なんだろう、これ。
There are even scribbles on my bed. I touch one of them with my finger. Schwip, the finger slides in.
Oh.
If I had something thinner, I bet I could go even further. I grab a plastic knife off a nearby tray and trace one of the scribbles with it. With no effort at all, the knife sinks down to the handle. Enjoying myself, I glide the knife along the lines in the bed. Cool, yeah. With a heavy sound, the bed falls neatly into two pieces. Oh, thank God I don't have to do those sounds. I turn to the voice behind me. The shriek belongs to a nurse standing at the door, her face stiff with shock.
どうやってベッドを壊したんだね、四季君。
What, you're just gonna think that this child did it? I notice the doctor hasn't asked me why I broke it, but how.
その線をなぞったら切れたんだよ。ねえ、どうしてこの病院はひびだらけなの？
Budget cuts.
いい加減にしないか、四季君。そんな線なんてないんだ。それで、どうやってベッドを壊したんだい？
だから線をなぞっただけなんだ。
わかった。この話はまた明日にしよう。
I think this would be very different if he just demonstrated it. But then again, if I'm correct, I think, isn't this hospital basically funded by the Tono family? So them knowing of magecraft wouldn't be the worst thing. The doctor lets out a sigh. He stops smiling as soon as I mention the scribbles. I guess his switch is broken. Mine's fine. See? Also, I didn't open this up. This is a really nice menu. Okay. Okay. I can do unseen text. Can I make it a little faster? Oh, wow. You can do it. It's like the microsecond. That's really nice. That's really nice. Fast forward, text animations, fade in none, scene language, recommended settings, sound. Oh, cool. And it does the whole thing where it shows them as they come in. Nice controls. I mean, that's pretty much all we need. It's just that. This is an interesting button. That's a really good button. I'm excited to learn about that button. A hospital's full of broken things. There's a lot to say about that line. In the end, no one believed me. No matter what it is, you can cut it cleanly by slicing the lines with a knife. I don't even need to put any muscle into it. It's easy, like cutting paper with a pair of scissors. The bed, the chair, the desk, the walls, and even the floor. None of them are any different. I've never tried it, but I'm positive it would be the same for people, too. No one else can see the scribbles. Only I can. I think it's because everything is falling apart. And these are the seams holding them together. Just like my chest, it still hasn't fully healed after the operation, so they've stitched me up where it would otherwise fall apart. That's gotta be it. I mean, how else could a kid like me cut up a whole wall? The nurse screams again. Seeing the holes in the wall, she glares in my direction. Her shriek goes on and on. Luckily, something is up with my ears, so it doesn't sound all that loud to me. Something with his ears? Oh, the drawn-out noise fills me with dread like the sound of a burning cicada. Are we gonna have to read the cicada onomatopoeia like 40 times again? Everything is in tatters. The idea of opening my eyes, of living at all, is enough to make me want to disappear. All this time I never knew about the stitches holding the world together and how easily they can break. No one else sees them. Oh, they're blue. Okay, so they can change color just depending on what looks best. Do we have a let me just see here. So we got this. If I press... Okay, do we have a display button? If I go to advanced skip mode off, control panel, close panel, skip mode. Am I looking for... Oh, do we not actually have a display button? Really? System menu, log, control panel. Is it control panel maybe? Oh. No. Okay. They don't know about the cracks all around us. They don't know how damaged their lives are. But I see it all. It chills me to the bone, holding me in place. Since it happened, everything sounds muffled, like my ears have been stuffed. I've had this happen to me, where it's just like, after something happens, your ears feel full and like stuffed with stuff. And sometimes it's water, sometimes like solid. It's the worst feeling. Thank God when I'm in China, I can just go and pay for someone to go and clean out my ears, and it's a lovely experience. I highly recommend for everyone, but boy, if you're not in a situation where you have access to that, or if it doesn't help, oh, only the gash in my chest screams like a siren. But what happened? And when? No matter how hard I try, I can't remember. And scratching my head over it doesn't help either. My brain must have gotten rid of that information to make up for space for something more important. But the questions still leak out like water from a tap. Oh. I think I get it. The pieces all fit. That's why there's no mirror in here. If there was, the very first thing I would do is cut it. I'd be laughing while it lay there shattered, which means they're not the ones in danger of breaking. It's me who's broken. Hey, call back. Now it all makes sense. Why 2 weeks have passed and no one believes me. Why 2 weeks have passed and no one's come to see me. Why 2 weeks have passed and I'm the only one living in this stitched together world. I don't want to be in this hospital anymore. I don't want to be surrounded by these scribbles. I have to get somewhere far away, where there won't be any people around. I'm not the weird one. It's this place that's weird, is what I tell myself as I make a run for it. Shoutouts to what looks like a Photoshop filtered real life picture of grass. We are so back, gamers. But the wound in my chest stops me from getting too far. By the time I realize it, I've ended up in the field next to the hospital. The field called Classic in Melty Blood. I didn't get very far at all. God, even the grass has it. Just the fact that you look out at the grass and just see all of their death is terrifying to be reminded of how grass is alive. My chest is burning. I squat to the ground miserably, battling a bout of coughs. I can't stay here, but I can't go anywhere else either. There's nowhere to go for someone who can see all of the stitching. Another wave of coughs hits me. No one's around. A sea of grass at the end of the summer. It wouldn't be the worst place to disappear. The thought is suddenly interrupted.
君、そんなところでしゃがんでると危ないわよ。
We are acutely familiar with that voice. The voice of a woman cuts through to my ears, clear as crystal. Here, oh man, having all these CGs be more full is gonna be so good.
絵じゃないでしょ。ただでさえちっこいんだから草むらでうずくまってると見えないのよね。気をつけなさい。危うく蹴り飛ばされるところだったんだから。
I do like the fact they said punted specifically, like she saw the child there and lined up to try and get a field goal. Oh man. The woman scolds away, her finger pointing at me grumpily. I feel anger creep up inside me. I'm not that small. I'm only the 4th shortest in my class.
蹴り飛ばされるって誰に？
バカね。そんなの決まってるじゃない。ここにいるのは私と君だけなんだから。私以外に誰がいるっていうの？
The woman sure looks proud of herself, crossing her arms like that.
ま、ここで会ったのも何かの縁だし。
No, that's the other
少
franchise.
し話し相手になってくれない？私は青崎青子って言うんだけど、君は？
I really do wonder what it would be like to play Witch on the Holy Night first and then this, and not the other way around as we've done, you know? She speaks casually like one friend to another and offers out her hand. Seeing no reason to refuse, I introduce myself as Shiki Tono and accept her offered hand like I'm being pulled in magnetically. Oh, we're getting so much more art. It's gonna be great. Talking to her is fun. She also still has hair vents, which is pretty rare in this world. She doesn't shoot down anything I say just because I'm a kid. This is such a huge thing. Like, if you're ever talking to people that are like, oh, you know, you're so good at talking to kids, it's like, well, because you don't talk to them like a child. They hate that. They know that, right? You just talk to them like a normal human. They are way more likely to actually, you know, look up to you and be like, oh, hey, I respect you because you are treating me with respect yourself. Yeah, and she treats me like a person, listening to my every word. I tell her all about myself. I tell her about home, about my long family lineage, how my dad is tough on etiquette and stern all the time. Oh, I have a little sister, Akiha, who's really quiet and follows me everywhere. I always play with Akiha and our friends in the garden, which is as big as a forest since we have a huge mansion. How the attic is our secret spot. How I'm bad at word games. How everyone says I'm going to grow taller. How I used to like the smell of hospitals, but now I don't. How I love the sky when it's clear and blue, but looking at it makes me want to cry. How I'm glad to be alive. How I don't even hate the doctor with the pretend smile. He's just doing his job. I surprise myself. I keep yapping away feverishly.
おっと、もうこんな時間。悪いわね、シキ。私、ちょっと用事があるから、お話はここまでにしましょう。
So I guess my question is, are we in Misaki or are we in Tokyo? Because I know the main story moves to Tokyo, right? And that's like a big change, is that it's in a different city, right? Because I thought the whole reason that she's here is because she's back in Misaki. She's back in her hometown. So, let's see. The woman starts to leave. The thought of being alone again fills me with sadness.
じゃあまた明日。ここで待ってるからね。君もちゃんと病室に帰って、きちんと医者の言いつけを守るんだぞ。
This is so important because he needs a guiding figure at this time. The fact that they did not send any adults to come and, check up on him and be there for him. I understand why they do that. The honor of the Tono family and all that. But it's still like he needs this. She says it so naturally, as if the idea that we weren't going to meet again tomorrow hadn't even crossed her mind, and leaves.
また明日。
We'll get to talk again tomorrow. Just like we did today. I'm so happy. It's the first time I felt something so strongly since waking up from the accident. Going to the grassy field in the afternoon has become a regular thing. The lady would get angry whenever I called her Aoko. She seems to hate her own name. Unsure what to call her at first, I eventually settled on Master. Master always Master. What did they use in the original translation there? Wasn't it just like, I mean, mind you, they could have used, I think, did they use was it Shisho or Sensei? Either way, I don't remember being Master, but I guess I know what they're going for, even if this has a very different tone. And yes, haha, fate joke. I mean, I could make that. You're expecting it. I'm not going to. Even though I just kind of did, I guess. Master always listens to whatever I have to say and solves each and every one of my problems. Since the accident, I've hated talking to people, but thanks to her, I'm slowly becoming my old self again. Being here in the grassy field is the only time my worries slip away and I feel like the old me. I don't know who she really is, but I get the sense she really could actually be a real teacher at some school. She's not, but she definitely gives those vibes, yeah. Although she would, I bet you though, if she needed the money, she would go to the clock tower for a bit and be like, all right, I'll do a couple substitute teaching stuff, whatever, I'll do it for you. Not that it's any of my business. Being around her is fun. That's all that matters.
ねえ先生、僕こんなことができるよ。
Oh no, don't say that. Oh, that just makes me think of Mad TV and Stuart. Look what I can do! Oh no. He's just gonna do a little movement. I want to surprise her. I pull out the knife I took from the hospital. and I cut the tree standing in the field. Tracing the lines, I sliced from the center of the tree to the bark.
すごいでしょ。落書きが見えてるところならどこだって簡単に切れるんだよ。こんなの他の誰にもできないよね。
Yeah, you know what? This is going to be so important for him formatively. She's speechless. I get into a groove and decide to sink my knife into a horizontal line across the base of the tree. Yep. She rushes towards me, and I feel the palm of her hand slap my cheek.
Sensei?
It is Sensei. Okay, yeah, that's what they're going with. Yeah.
やめなさい。君は今とても軽率なことをしたわ。
This is so important for him formatively. She stares at me seriously. It's an unforgiving look. The determined gaze of someone about to punish an evildoer. How could I be so stupid? I was having so much fun. I completely forgot. These scribbles shouldn't exist, which means someone like me, who can see them, shouldn't exist either. Feeling of regret seeps into my chest like blood. I wish I could crawl up into a ball and die. The tree was the last reminder that this field was once a forest. And desperate to show off, I went and destroyed it. For no real reason at all.
ごめんなさい。
Wow, that's the perspective of him looking down. I feel tears trickle down my face. I know boys shouldn't cry, but I can't help it.
四季。
Aww. I hear my name called softly. Suddenly, even with the knife still in my hand, she hugs me tight.
謝る必要はないわ。うん。まあ、確かに四季は怒られるようなことをしたけど、それは決してあなただけが悪いってわけじゃないんだから。
悪いのは僕だけじゃない。
ええ。でもね、四季。それとは別のところで、今誰かが君を叱っておかないと取り返しのつかないことになる。
Like, his life would have been way closer to, like, Ninaya Shiki if this didn't occur, you know? Having someone basically give him the, okay, no, we need to talk thing about the lines.
だから私はあなたを一人の人間として見た。
And again, if you speak to them like an adult, I mean, mind you, I'm painting a very broad brush and, you know, pedagogically speaking, that means relating to education. I really shouldn't be saying this, but, you know, because not everyone reacts in the same way. I do believe that talking to them, talking to children, and treating them like adults, especially for punishments, is so important. Of course, as I said, pedagogically speaking, that's not the right thing. Every child's different, blah, 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 blah. That's why I'm no longer in early childhood education, because I don't want to deal with that.
同じ立場の人間として意見して、怒って本気で叩いた。力加減を間違えていたら、私も四季を殺していたかもってくらい。本気。
Her words truly frighten me. It isn't that I'm afraid of her killing me, but that I'd almost pushed her into doing so. The thought of it makes my heart sink.
泣かないで、四季。私も謝らないから。あなたはそれだけのことをしたんだって覚えていてほしいから。うん。その代わり、四季は私のことを嫌ってもいいわ。
It's also really nice because with the voice acting now, we can understand more of the tone, right? You know, because I feel like someone could misconstrue this as her saying this through tears, but no, she's not. She's saying it with a firmness, right?
うん。先生のこと嫌いじゃないよ。
そう。本当によかった。私が君に出会ったのはこのためだったみたい。
And just like that, as if to melt away my feeling of regret, she quietly asks me about the scribbles I keep seeing. When I start telling her about the lines, I feel her hug me tighter.
四季、君が見ているものは現実のものよ。決して見えてはいけないものだとしても、他の人間にとってはありえないことだとしても、その線は幻じゃない。あなただけにある現実。
そっか。じゃあやっぱりおかしいのは僕だけなんだね。
ええ、あなたはおかしい。そこはごまかしようがない。
You're a little freak, but, again, speaking true to them, don't be like, no, you're not a freak. No, Aoko's like, no, you are, and it is something you must confront. I fight back the tears. What she said stings 1,000 times more than when the doctor doubted me. But it's not like I didn't see this coming. From the very start, from the moment I woke up, I've known the truth. I shouldn't even be alive.
謝らないで。その異常はおかしいだけで、説明がつかないものじゃない。道理が通っているものなら、人間は何にだって向かっていける。これ、私の経験則ね。
And the good news is, you have a box of secrets.
どんなに馬鹿げたデタラメがやってきても、知恵と勇気で乗りこなすのが私たち人間よ。
My first lesson, she calls it with a hint of embarrassment. Having a strange condition itself isn't a problem. The problem is how I choose to deal with it.
じゃあこの落書きも説明できる？
もちろん。ものにはね、壊れやすい箇所というものがある。いつか壊れる私たちは、壊れるがゆえに完全じゃない。君の目は、そういったものの末路。言い換えれば、未来を見てしまっているんでしょう。
Not to be confused with those eyes that actually see the future in a more literal sense. More like we see the end.
未来を見てるの？
But I guess it's the best way to describe it to a child.
そうよ。今はそれ以上は知らなくていい。
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, for now.
もし君がそういう流れに沿ってしまう時が来るなら、必然としてそれなりの理屈を知ることになるでしょう。
先生、何のことだかよくわからない。
ええ、分かっちゃダメ。今大事なのは一つだけ。その線は決していたずらに切ってはいけない。君の目は物の命を軽くしすぎてしまうから。
うん、先生が言うならしない。それになんだか胸が痛いんだ。ごめんね先生、もう二度とあんなことはしないから。
よかった。四季、今の気持ちを絶対に忘れないで。そうしていれば君は必ず幸せになれるんだから。
She uncoils her arms, freeing me from her embrace. The sensation, cold and yet warm, fades away.
でも先生、この落書きが見えてると不安なんだ。だってこの線を引けば切れちゃうんでしょ？なら僕の周りはいつバラバラになってもおかしくないじゃないか。
I like to imagine that having the eyes on like this is like having a world where everything looks like a car crash about to happen. If you've ever seen a car crash, the world looks different before the car crash. Things look wrong. Things are in places they shouldn't be. A car going too fast in the wrong lane, a car moving in a way that shouldn't happen, and your brain goes, this isn't right, this isn't right. I like to believe that that's what the world feels like to him. A world where everything is like a car about to crash.
その問題は私が何とかするわ。どうやらそれが私がここに来た理由のようだし。
She heaves a long sigh and then smiles at me.
四季、明日君にとっておきのプレゼントを。私が君を 以前の生活に戻してあげる。
The next day, on the 7th day since I first met Master, she comes to the field hauling a huge trunk with one hand.
はい、これをかけていればもう妙な落書きは見えなくなるはず。
She hands me an ordinary pair of glasses. They're not, but it's what you know.
僕目は悪くないよ。
いいからかけなさい。度は入ってないから。
I do as she says and put them on. And the moment I do, oh, it gets
すごいよ先生。
okay. Just the fact that everything gets clearer. You know, even with because the lines are like almost taking over the focus, and now everything's clearer. Wow, yeah.
落書きがちっとも見えない。
当たり前よ。わざわざ姉貴のところの魔眼殺しを奪ってまで作った青崎青子渾身の一品なんだから。粗末に扱ったらただじゃおかないからね、シキ。
I really do wonder if there would ever be a side story of Toko coming back to be like, hey, I need my glasses back.
大事にする。けど先生ってすごいね。あれだけ嫌だった線がみんな消えちゃって、なんだか魔法みたいだこれ。
それも当然。だって私魔法使いだもん。
A smug grin stretches across her face as she drops the trunk to the ground.
でもね、シキ、その線は消えたわけじゃないわ。ただ見えなくしているだけ。そのメガネを外せば線はまた見えてしまう。
見えないだけ。
ええ、そればっかりはもう直しようがないことよ。君はその目となんとか折り合いをつけて生きていくしかないの。
If it means having to wear glasses, like, come on, that's negligible. There's some people who are so afraid of wearing glasses, and yet I'm honestly like, I've been offered contacts. I'm like, nah, I like my glasses.
やだ、
Just feels right.
こんな怖い目いらない。またあの線を切っちゃったら先生との約束が守れなくなる。
ああ、もう二度と線を切らないっていうあれか。バカね。あんな約束気軽に破っていいわよ。
そうなの？だってすごくいけないことだって言ったじゃないか。
ええ、いけないことよ。けどその目は誰にも頼らない。君個人の力なんだもの。
I think it was just more, you need to know when to do it, right? You can break the rules, but know when to break the rules. Don't just do it all the
だ
time.
からそれを使おうとするのは君の自由。その目があることについて君以外の他の誰も君問われることがあるとしたら、あなたがその力で何をしたかということだけよ、チキ。
僕が何をするか。
She stares into my eyes as if trying to peer inside.
そういうこと。うん、やっぱりいい目だ。正直言うとね、初めて君と会った時、めんどくさいのにぶつかっちゃったなーって思ったんだ。だって君、見た感じいろいろなくしてきたみたいだから。でも、問題なんてなかった。君はちゃんと生きている。なら、人生かけて取り返していきなさい。
Even with a whole lifetime, I could never find the words to describe the light I felt in my chest or the rush of joy that came with it. You belong here. God, just imagining the feeling of thinking back and, thinking about her, how he would feel. She reaffirmed my reason for being more forcefully than anyone.
シキ、君は個人が保有する能力の中でもひどく得意な能力を持ってしまった。けどそれが君にあるということは何かしらの意味があるということなの。神様は何の意味もなく力を分けない。君の未来には必要になる時があるから、その直視の目があるとも言える。 それは残酷なことだろうけど。だからこそ忘れないで。君はとてもまっすぐな心をしている。今の君がある限り、その目は決して間違った結果は生まないでしょう。成人になれなんてことは言わない。君は君が正しいと思う大人になればいい。
I think it's important to recognize, yeah, I'm not asking you to be a perfect, flawless being. No human is going to be. Even saints have... You want to look up a saint who do interesting things, go look up what Saint Vladimir was all about. But here's the thing. I do really appreciate how it's like, you will make mistakes, but be truthful in your convictions. You know, follow the path you think is right. Oh, pressing B gets rid of the background. I was curious. Good to know. That was probably on the thing there and I just completely missed it.
いけないということを素直に受け止められて、ごめんなさいと言える君なら、10年後にはきっと素敵な男の子になってるわ。
She stands and reaches out for the trunk.
でもよっぽどのことがない限りメガネは外しちゃダメだからね。特別な力は特別な力を呼ぶものだし。
Which means wearing glasses in the shower, which is like the worst ever thing possible.
はい、私からの忠告その2、反則の出しどころ、勝負どころをよく考える。
Yeah, that's true. That's just good life advice, period.
そうならないことを祈っているけど、どうしても自分の手には負えないと判断した時だけメガネを外して、よく考えて力を行使なさい。その力自体は決して悪いものじゃない。結果をいいものにするか悪いものにするかはあくまで君の判断次第なんだから。
She picks up the trunk, and without her even saying a word, I know. It's time for us to say our goodbyes.
無理だよ先生。僕だけじゃいいことになんてできない。本当は先生に会うまで怖くてたまらなかった。けど先生がいてくれたから僕は僕に戻れたんだ。ダメなんだ。先生がいなくちゃこんなメガネがあったってダメに決まってるじゃないか。
四季、心にもないことは言わないこと。自分自身も騙せないような嘘は聞いている方を不快にさせる。
Master's displeasure is readily apparent in her expression. She then flicks my forehead.
自分でも分かっているんでしょ。もう大丈夫だって。ならそんなつまらないことを言ってせっかく掴んだ自分を捨ててはいけないわ。
Don't turn around at the finish line.
それじゃあお別れね。バイ、四季。どんな人間だって人生ってのは落とし穴だらけなのよ。君はそれを何とかできる力があるんだから、もっとちゃんとしなさい。
God, what a beautiful... Like, this beginning is so beautiful. It's so good. And I love the fact she's just here in her t-shirt and jeans. She's just a passing by older sister type. That's all she is. And if you just know that about her, that's all you need to know. But when you know who she is, it's even cooler. She's really leaving. I'm sad, but as her friend, I want to see her off right.
さよなら先生。
よし、上出来上出来。その息でいつまでも元気でね。最後の教訓。ピンチの時はまず落ち着いて、その後によく考えること。
When you're backed into a corner, think about how you can use the heat death of the universe to help you achieve whatever goal you need. And he's like, what? He's like, don't worry about it.
大丈夫。君なら一人でもちゃんとやっていけるから。
She smiles fondly. A gust of wind sweeps through, sending a ripple across the sea of grass. She's gone.
バイバイ先生。
Aww. As I say the words, the realization that I'll never see her again sinks in. Left with me are a treasure trove of advice and a strange pair of glasses. In just 7 days, I feel like I've learned the most important things of all. As I stand there aimlessly, tears start welling up. I'm such an idiot. All I said was goodbye. Not once did I say thank you. My regret's gonna eat away at him forever. Until the hopeful day they run into each other again. I'm discharged from the hospital soon after. I won't be going back to the Tono household. Instead, I'm to be taken in by another family. My body is recovered, but there are still lasting symptoms. To the Tonos, this means I'm defective. I'm no longer needed. But I don't care. Shiki Tono is going to be fine on his own. A new life and a new family are waiting for me. I leave behind the hospital room where I spent my 10th summer. The curtains behind my window sway in the breeze, just like always. I take in one last glimpse of the blue sky. As I do, a dry breeze washes over me, spelling the end of summer. And when we talk about summer, we're talking about like this is the end of this phase of his life. Right? I mean, for narrative purposes. Day 1. Homecoming 1. Those are really nice little title cards. Ooh, I like the fact that they're fully adapted in like that. Ooh, nice. I mean, it's obvious, but it's nice to see things that you don't really recognize as, oh look, remember this? So now things are going to be a bit different. Because, so while this is a remake, it's a lot more than a remake. This is a recontextualization. It is a what if it was in another place? It is an expansion of the plot. So now we're into potentially new territory. Because he did not take the train before. The tracks take a sudden dive, leaving the surface behind. Casting an artificial light across the tunnel walls, the train makes its way through the darkness. The car creaks around me. Man-made lights pass by at regular intervals. The vibration through the seat lulls me into reflection on this short little journey. Yeah, this is not an image we saw ever in Tsukihime. It's early, 6:33 a.m. 30 minutes have come and gone since I got on this train. That's how long it's been since I said goodbye to the people who took care of me all this time. How I react to this probably says a lot about me as a person. I'm sure some people might feel sad and wish they could have stayed longer. Others would accept it without a second thought. I wonder which side I fall on. I realize after a moment that I don't really feel either. I'm the only one sitting on the 8-seater bench. The seats in front of me are empty. There are only a couple of other people on the train, including a sleeping man in a suit on the bench next to mine and a woman standing in front of the door. It may be early, but it feels, well, particularly empty today. The noise from the outside is strangely muted. Maybe I'm just lost in thought. The train vaguely reminds me of a spaceship traveling through the darkness of outer space. No sound can reach it out here. The only things here are my stupid daydreams, the sound of my heart beating, and my memories from an hour ago. Came like a bolt from the blue. Makihisa Tono has died. Shiki Tono is to return to the Tono household immediately. The first contact I've had with my family in 7 years, and that's how it goes. The Tono family's word is final. I'm still a student, and they pay for all my expenses. But choosing to return to the mansion today instead of yesterday was my one act of defiance. I just wanted to stay a little longer at the home where I'd spent so much of my life. It was all I could do for the family that took me in and treated me like their own. Thank you for breakfast. It was delicious. I finish my meal and leave the table before the sun even rises. After taking one final glance at my room, I clap my hands together in thanks. Not much for all the time I've stayed here, but I don't want to leave anything unsaid. I led a happy life here. That's what I want to carry away with me. Keiko saw me off alone as I left the Arima household. I asked to leave quietly without waking the others. Thank you for everything. Give my regards to Dad and Miyako for me. Oh my god, he called him Dad. Oh, that says a lot. 7 years. The woman who acted as my mother in that time looked terribly sad. I never once thought I'd see her like this. Life may be hard at the Tono Mansion, but you'll be okay, understand? Don't overdo it. Make sure to look after your health first and foremost. I take her words of encouragement to heart. My time spent with them was peaceful. I just hope I didn't upset the Arimas too much didn't cause the Arimas too much trouble during my time with them. It's been 7 years. I had plenty of time to recover. I'm a lot sturdier than I look, you know. Yes, you're right. The Tonos are quite the unusual family, but you're not one to let that bother you. You've always been a strong boy. I almost thought that said you've always been my strong boy, and I was going to cry. She smiles through her sadness, and I smile back. I'm happy that she still considers me to be her child. Aw. I think you're giving me a little too much credit. Well, I should get going. Take care, Mom. Goodbye, Shiki. Take care. Keiko knows that I won't be coming back. She sends me off with tears in the corners of her eyes. It was just 40 minutes ago. That moment marked the end of my previous life and the start to my new one. We get to see glimpses of that in like the Melty Blood manga there. And it's nice to see. Because honestly, his time during that time is so nebulous that we don't need to see much of it. All we know is that it was just a normal, kind of regular life, and he kind of stayed away, but they treated him nicely, and, you know, he interacted in little bits with Miyako, but for the most part it was pretty distant, right? We don't need to know much else. The view outside shifts slowly. We must have crossed the river that separates the suburban Yashirogi and arrived in the city of Soya. So yeah, here's the thing, because this might be confusing to people who don't know. We are in Tokyo. So Soya and Yashirogi are like parts of Tokyo. In general, we're in Tokyo, right? Because Tokyo is a bunch of cities, basically. I didn't know that till I went there. The train begins its return climb to the surface. I can feel the gentle incline. Bright light shines through, piercing my eyes, which had grown accustomed to the artificial dimness of the subway. That's the city, all right. Yep. The train sweeps towards the city. The majority of its inhabitants are still asleep. Outside, the air is chilly. A fall morning in the month of October. The heat of summer is little more than a faint memory now. I've watched this same view nearly every day for a year and a half now. But this is the last time I'll be taking this train to school. Memories of the past 7 years rush by like the scenery outside the window. I survived a terrible injury that would have killed most 10-year-olds. I met the woman that would become my master, my mentor in life. I went to live with the Arima family. And now, I'm halfway through my 2nd year. The thing Master feared might happen when we parted never came to pass. As long as I have these glasses on, I don't have to worry about seeing those lines again. And so, Shiki Tono has led an ordinary, though at times difficult, life, you know, all the headbutts from Miyako. That all changes today. It's nothing major like feeling I don't belong or anything like that. I just don't feel right about going back to the way things were before. Having lived a normal life these past few years, the Tono family's way of doing things just seems like a pain, or at least more trouble than it's worth.
だいたい 学校より広い洋館とか想像つかないんですけど。
Dang, that puts things in perspective. Oh, maybe it definitely is if you include the basement kingdom. I'm surprised I was able to handle it when I was a child. The thought of going back to that old-fashioned way of life is daunting, to say the least. The train stops at a large station for a few minutes. The local line I'm taking has to wait for the express to pass. The platform is empty. Usually I would expect to see morning commuters in suits on their way to work, but it's particularly quiet today. The express passes by on the neighboring rails. Thank you for your patience. The next stop is... An announcement I've heard hundreds of times plays. The door closes with a hiss of air. I see that there are 4 stations left to Soya Station, the station where my school... Who's this? Who are we getting? Oh, you're appearing very early. Oh, huh. This is new.
危うく首が飛ぶところでした。
Not that it would matter for you, but I don't know what I'm saying. A girl wearing my school's uniform slips through the automatic doors as they close. Her ribbon is green, so she must be a 3rd year. I feel like I've seen her before. The bag she's holding in her hands must contain things for her club activities. Our eyes meet for a moment. The girl continues to stare at me. Just when I notice that she's walked closer...
おはようございます。朝からお騒がせしてごめんなさい。
あ、いえ、こっちこそすいません。ジロジロ見ちゃって。
Rizlord Shiki over here. The way she smiles has me apologizing almost by reflex.
いえいえ、目立つようなことをした
The little
私
hand
に非がある
motion.
んです。先輩として恥ずかしいところを見せてしまいました。でも、朝は弱いって話、本当なんですね。
The gaslighting starts now. The girl laughs lightly. I'm distracted by her laughter and...
ほら、私ですよ。先週会ったばっかりなのに、もう忘れちゃったんですか？
You are unbelievably cute.
あれ、シエル先輩。
In an instant, my memory is jolted awake. I knew she felt familiar. I've crossed paths with her a number of times. And now I think about it... Shut up, they did not give her a French theme. Shut up. Oh my god, that's amazing. That's hilarious. Bring out the baguettes, am I right? And now I think about it, there's probably not a person in the whole school who doesn't know CL. Soya High's most revered 3rd year. Happy to offer advice to any distraught 1st year. Eager to solve the woes of any troubled 2nd year. And quick to save underclassmen from the ire of 3rd years. Some students call her the true student council president, considering most people rely on her over the teachers or our actual student council. Yeah, because she's not student council, right? Like, you look at her, and you would think she's a student council character, and she's not. But, yeah, she might as well be. She even helped me with something just last week. Man, how out of it am I? Seal's right about how I hate mornings, but thinking about returning home for the first time in 7 years must be killing my brain cells. Oh, the first choice we get. I forgot about those. I forgot that this is no Witch on the Holy Night where we can just pick whatever, right? So as far as I'm aware, it's not like the original Tsukihime where you can literally just pick, you know, Arcwid or CL to start with. Like, it's not just a free pick which one to start with and only the second half of the game is locked. You know, this, I think you have to do Arcwid first. So I'm not too worried about the, I'm not too worried about it being, you know, locking away something, but, you know, I want to pick the right things. I can't think of something. think of something to ask. Take the opportunity. Okay, let's play as, again, Riz Lord Tonoshiki. Let's take the opportunity to admire what's in front of me. Ooh, that's a nice little effect. I can't help but be intrigued. My eyes drop from the bag on her shoulder down to her legs. Okay, well, that's, yeah. I thought you were going to compliment her, but no, you're just going to be a creep. Okay, buddy. I mean, those legs, they're nothing short of amazing, absolute perfection. Coursing with the... Wow, are we going to get poetry about... Okay. Coursing with the quiet energy of flowing water, they feel ready to surge into motion at any moment. Try to pull my eyes away, but I'm utterly transfixed. They're truly a work of art. Honestly, just say, like, I'm just staring into space and you happen to be in the way. Never before... Oh my god, he keeps going. He keeps going. Never before have I seen strength and beauty in perfect harmony. Although they're pleasantly defined, they're a sprinter's legs at heart. Rumor has it that CL set a new school record outside of the track team anyway during the fitness test the other day. These legs ran 100 meters in 13 seconds. They're more valuable than diamonds. Oh no. Sorry, what are we doing? Oh no, we're making gestures. Okay. This is good. Because I feel like one very underrated part of Tsukihime is Shiki's like comedic potential. And there's not a lot of that in the original. It really only comes up in like Melty Blood and on. So I'm happy we're gonna get some of that. Oh, we're still going. Oh no. But it's not like I'm her trainer or a rival on the track as much as I wish I were. Even if I were to unveil all the secrets of her speed, it wouldn't do me any good. That's a really cute sprite. How does one express how it feels to be captivated by such beauty? I am cringing from this choice, actually. Oh my god. Some claim that true beauty cannot be expressed in words, but is it not defeatist to suggest that something beautiful cannot be called what it is? Will the day ever come when humanity transcends its myriad biases and prejudices to put to words the true nature of... Did you bonk him? That was a necessary bonk. Wait. Something. Yes. Something hit us. Ignoring my throbbing head, I pick up the object that has fallen onto the seat. It's a shiny metallic object that fits perfectly in the palm of my hand. Huh? That is to say, it's a phone. Okay, so this is another thing. This one takes place in the modern day. And like, let's be real. So much of Tsukihime would change if they had cell phones. And from what I've heard, this is a thing. Hello? Okay, I've seen this character in promotional material. I don't know who she is. I know nothing about her. I don't even know her name. But I've seen her. Oh. I thought she was just clumsy, but no, she's stupid. The girl coolly retrieves her phone and moves to the other end of the car. CL and I stare at each other speechless. At her face this time. For better or worse, I've come back to my senses. I cough to try and reset the conversation. Again, just be like, yeah, I was, deeply considering, my circumstances right now and just staring into space. Which is, I mean, that's something I do. And people call me out for that. I'll just stare into space and people will be like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just thinking about stuff. And what am I going to do? Close my eyes? Makes me look like I'm dead. That's important for your resumes.
あれをちゃちゃっと先ほどまで。
Oh, now it all makes sense. Seal's always running around helping out somebody or another and looking lovely in those glasses all the while. Buddy!
早朝から30分だけの奉仕活動だったんですけどね。他の皆
I
さんは
like her little
帰宅したん
hands,
で
they're
すが
so quaint.
私は面倒なのでこのまま投稿してしまおうかと。
Her bag clatters as she shifts it to her shoulder. I'd assumed it was full of club equipment, but it must be cleaning stuff.
おや、中身見たいんですか？先輩の持ち物をチェックするなんておとなしそうに見えて大胆ですね。
I better see Mr. Clean in there. She draws closer and looks into my eyes. Her face is so close to mine that I can feel the warmth of her body. Flustered, I can't figure where to look.
いえ、そういうわけじゃなくてですね。もし折りたたみ式のほうきとか熊手とかなら珍しいなと。
Oh, buddy, get used to seeing weird brooms. You're gonna be a part of your life from now on.
ほうほう、私の万能高枝切りばさみも見たいと。よろしい。それでしたら放課後いつもの茶道部に来てください。
That is
あ
so
なたなら大
funny.
歓迎です。
Just imagining, like, him coming in, them sitting down, having an amazing, like, super traditional tea ceremony, and then she brings out head shears, and she's like, this is them. Faced with such a heartfelt smile, I end up blushing. I'd like to say something clever or witty, but a simple yes is all I can manage. I don't even know which room the tea ceremony club meets in, but I'll figure that out later.
約束ですよ。ここだけの話、部費で購入したお茶受けが余ってしまいまして、日持ちするものではないので元気な男の子の協力が不可欠なんです。
そうですか。じゃあ予定が合えばぜひ。でも食べ物に釣られていくなんて。
Yep.
なんか猫みたいですね。
No, we'll get to the cats later. Ciel's warm smile makes me feel comfortable enough to crack a joke. And like a real joke, and not just staring and making poetry up about her legs. She adjusts the green ribbon around her neck.
どちらかというとワンちゃんではないでしょうか。
Yep, yeah.
というか、猫科はよくありません。最後まで頼りになるのは律儀で頭のいい犬科です。
There's a lot you can get from that if you know her in the grand total franchise sense. For reasons I don't quite understand, she seems to feel strongly about this. Oh, well, we'll be getting to some of those later too. As we're both heading to the same place, we continue to chat. We talk about last week's midterms. We wonder why the sports festival has been reduced to a one-day event. We complain about the cafeteria always serving the same things. After getting into a heated discussion about the plan to restrict phones at school, oh buddy, I could talk for days about that because that's something that actually just happened here, and everyone I know is like, well, you know, it's not the best idea, but I'm like, nah, as a teacher, restricting phones at school, it's the best thing ever. Anyways, we tire each other out, sigh in unison, and change the subject. We laugh as we trade opinions on the movies we've seen recently. 15 minutes go by in a flash. It's easy talking with her. She is, after all, incredibly popular among everyone. I don't want this to end, but we only have a few minutes left before we get to Soya Station. I try to bring up something else to talk about, but...
ちょっとうるさいんですけど。
wow! We've forgotten where we were. Seal and I bow our heads in apology.
怒られちゃいましたね。
ごめんなさい。私の笑い声が大きかったんです。きっと。
Charm point. That's a charm point. That's a major charm point. With that, our conversation comes to a halt. The friendly cheer that filled the air just moments ago has vanished. It's quickly replaced by that familiar city silence, that cold space in which everyone is a stranger. This looks remarkably similar to one of the major areas in, like Stay Night in Kobe. Well, Kobe in real life, right? Then again, now this could be pretty much almost anywhere in Tokyo. It looks almost like Odaiba. God, I love Odaiba. The train pulls into Soya Station. It's just before 7 a.m. I left for school a bit early today, so the town hasn't quite woken up yet. It's quiet right now, but in about an hour it'll be bustling with traffic and commuters.
今朝も交通量が少なめですね。最近街の目覚めが遅い気がします。皆さん夜更かしなんでしょうかね。
Why does it feel like no matter what is happening, no matter what Tsukihime thing we play, or Melty Blood for that matter, feels like the town is always eerily quiet? As Seal shares this odd observation, I notice how heavy her bag looks.
荷物学校まで持って行きましょうか。
That's some unspoken riz there.
ああ、いえいえ、お気になさらず。私は寄っていくところがありますので、ここでお別れですね。
She smiles a goodbye and waves as she runs off. Her life... Oh my god, buddy. You gotta stop focusing on them. Her lithe legs carry her so swiftly I almost expect a comical whoosh. I feel an urge to start running too, though there's no reason for me to hurry. I probably shouldn't be running anyway, considering my condition. I start walking towards school at my usual pace. Just as I set off. Boy, you are just continuing to appear. The girl from before emerges from the ticket gates. She passes by briskly, slowing only to share a few choice words.
動物的にも程があります。
What?
公共の場で恥ずかしいと思わないんですか？
Sorry. And with that, she stalks away. Who is she? We'll have to learn. Oh, beautiful. Oh, this looks so beautiful. All right. Well, we'll have to learn, guys. Next time. Man, how am I out of it? Oh, wait, is that... Oh, that little notes section is really nice. Normally you'd have to type that in yourself on PC. That's really nice that they have some pre-done notes. I love it. Okay, well, thank you guys for watching. We will see you next time as we continue on to some more of Tsukihime Remake. I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited. Oh, this music. Oh, this remix. Oh, it's so good. Okay. We'll be playing some more next time, guys. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you then for that. Ciao. Yo.